This is an A1 exclusive. This is an A1 exclusive. Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's up? This your girl Tiffany here, live in effect. So tonight I'm going to be coming live from the Italian Debate League, also known as the Coliseum of Arguments. So brother A1 is running a little behind, but I'm gonna be up here presenting my presentation on the concept about wellness. Okay, so I'm dealing with mind, body, and wellness, speaking on the importance of health in our community and whatnot. So I'm gonna post up the presentation. So I'm sorry for running behind here. So just give me a moment. Let me go ahead and post up the slides. Okay, let me see. Well, I'm gonna do it like this. Hold on. All right, you guys. So I hope you guys can see my screen here. All right, so before I get started, let me make a disclaimer. I'm not an expert. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not a scholar. I'm just here to share information, okay? So that's my whole purpose here. So I'm going to be sharing some sources here, and I'm going to get into basically why it's important to deal with health and wellness, as I mentioned before. So you guys just tune in. All right, peace. Shout out to the chat. Peace, brother Emmanuel. Shout out to you. All right, so here's my presentation right here, which is called Health and Wellness and Blackness. Okay, hold on. So let's get into the introduction. What is health and wellness? Why are they important topics to discuss? Health focuses on the overall well-being of the body, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, whereas wellness focuses on lifestyles that promote healthiness. In this presentation, the subject of health and wellness will be focused on the Black community. The followings are high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, cholesterol, drugs, alcohol, and sexual transmitted infection. There will be some focus on nutritional science and psychology. It is imperative to bring health awareness to the community so people will become more knowledgeable about the importance of self-care. Okay. So let me go ahead. Let's go to the next one. All right. So here is high blood pressure and diabetes. High blood pressure, as defined by Dr. Richard W. Walker Jr. in 2021, hypertension is a condition of the cardiovascular system which is responsible for carrying blood to every part of the body. The cardiovascular system is made up of the heart and blood vessels. The heart is basically a pump that pushes the blood in your body. Blood leaves the heart through vessels and arteries. It's carried to, it's carried to and from tissues through vessels called capillaries and returns to the heart through vessels called veins. As blood gets pumped into the arteries, it exerts pressure on the walls of those blood vessels. This force is appropriately called blood pressure. When our blood pressure readings are normal, this tells us that our hearts are pushing out blood with just the right force. However, when it takes more force for the heart to push the blood through the body, it creates the condition referred to as high blood pressure. So basically, to sum it up, high blood pressure takes place when the heart has to do more work with the blood pumping through the arteries, veins, and capillaries, which puts a strain on it. Okay. All right. And then also Walker shares the statistics. So African American adults are 40% more likely to have high blood pressure and less likely than their non-Hispanic white counterparts to have blood pressure under control. In 2017, African Americans were 20% more likely to die from heart disease than non-Hispanic whites. African American women are 60% more likely to have high blood pressure than non-Hispanic white women. And that's on page 51. So, due to poor dieting, stress, and obesity, high blood pressure cannot be managed properly. This can lead to other underlying health conditions such as diabetes. Okay. So, what is diabetes? First and foremost, diabetes is just as bad as having high blood pressure. How severe is diabetes? What is diabetes? A diabetes is a disease that occurs when your blood glucose, also called blood sugar, is too high. Glucose is your body's main source of energy. Your body can make glucose, but glucose also comes from the food you eat. Insulin is a hormone made by the pancreas that helps glucose get into your cells to be used for energy. If you have diabetes, your body doesn't make enough or any insulin and doesn't use insulin properly. Glucose then stays in your blood and doesn't reach your cells. Diabetes raises the risk for damage to the eyes, kidney, nerves, and heart. Diabetes is also linked to some types of cancer. Taking steps to prevent or manage diabetes may lower your risk of developing diabetes health problems. And this comes from National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Disease 2023. When there is little to no insulin left in the body, it can cause diabetes. The pancreas is responsible for producing insulin to control blood sugar, also known as glucose. Therefore, too much sugary food can kill off the insulin, which means the pancreas is in inactive mode. All right. So what that means, the pancreas is not going to function properly. It's not going to function the way that it would normally function because of the fact that, yeah, due to the fact that the diabetes has kicked in, right? and it kicked in because of the insulin not being produced, as far as keeping the sugar level under control. So therefore, it causes the pancreas to become inactive. All right. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to the presentation. Go ahead. Okay. So, diabetes and the black community. A study was shown that black adults in US are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes than white adults. In 2018, black people were found to be twice as likely to die from diabetes than their white counterparts. People in minority communities, quote unquote, are affected the most due to living in under resources or impoverished neighborhoods. And this comes from Northwestern Medicine 2025. In most inner cities or urban communities, there aren't any nearby grocery stores or urban farming. Usually there are corner stores or gas stations where there are more sugary contents, alcohols, nicotines, and starchy food. These things are often consumed so much to where there's more health decline taking place. However, in certain neighborhoods, there are community activists and business owners who are promoting food alternative lifestyles through farmer markets, gardens, and vegetarian restaurants or vegan restaurants. All right, so let's talk about cholesterol and cancer. So, cholesterol and cancer. Cholesterol, a waxy fat-like substance that is produced by the liver, also found in certain foods. It is necessary for the body to help produce hormones and the bowel that helps digest fats. But too much of it can cause plaque to be built up in the arteries and lead to heart attacks. All right, this comes from UT Southwestern Medical Center 2025. Oftentimes, people ignore cholesterols because it doesn't seem to be as significant as diabetes and hypertension. Scary, most definitely. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as cited in UT Southwestern Medical Center, 2025, as a community, African Americans have higher rates of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and diabetes. The four major risk factors for heart disease. For instance, 57% of adult African American women are obese, compared to 34% of non Hispanic white women, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. All right, Silky, I'll do it after I get done with the presentation. I'll do it after I get done. Then I can drop the link afterwards. Okay. So let's get into talking about cancer. Cancer spreads very rapidly in the Black community. In this part of the presentation, the focus is going to be on the terms and the most common cancer found within the Black population. What is cancer? Cancer, term for diseases in which abnormal cells divide without control and can invade nearby tissues. This comes from National Cancer Institute. Meaning, if abnormal cells remain in the body, then those cells will continue to spread throughout other parts of the organs and become deadly. The statistics are very high. Here are some studies. So this is from American Cancer Society 2025. Right? Let me oops. Hold on. All right, hold on, you guys. Real quick. Real quick, real quick. Hold up. Hold on. goodness. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. I'm gonna bring my presentation back up, but let me just. Okay, let me just do something real quick. All right, I'm back. Let me go ahead and post it back up again. All right, so let me read from here. So cancer spreads very rapidly in the Black community. In this part of the presentation, the focus is going to be on the term and the most common cancer found within the Black population. So what is cancer? Cancer, term for disease in which abnormal cells divide without control and can invade nearby tissues. So National Cancer Institute, meaning if abnormal cells remain in the body, then those cells will continue to spread through other parts of the organ and become deadly. The, the statistics are very high. Here are some studies. So this is come from the American Cancer Society 2025. It says African Americans experience more illness, worse outcomes, and premature death compared to whites. African Americans have the highest death rate and shortest survival of any racial ethnic group for most cancers. African Americans, okay, yeah, African Americans, men also have the highest cancer incident. Cancer death rates in Black men is twice as high as in Asians and Pacific Islanders. Okay, who have the lowest rates. Prostate cancer death rates in Black men are more than double those of every other racial ethnic group. Black women are 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than white women and are twice as likely to die if they are younger than 50. All right. So, about a third of African American women reported experiencing racial discrimination at health provider visit, living in segregated communities and areas highly populated with African Americans have been associated with increased chances of getting diagnosed with cancer after it has spread, along with having higher death rates and lower rates of survival from breast and lung cancer. So, cancer is very rapid within the Black community. Again, cancer is very rapid within the Black community. So it's important to focus and maintain good health. Right? So let's get back to the slideshow. All right, so now let's get to drugs and alcohol. When it comes to drugs, there are different types. The prescribed drugs and then there's illicit drugs. At one time, these illicit drugs were used in the medical practices such as heroin, which was in the IV medicine now replaced by morphine. Cocaine, which was used in coke products, and yes, they were sold in the pharmacy. However, caffeine has been a replacement. And PCP, which was used as anesthesia for human surgery, right? It has been a replacement for that as well. However, they were marketed to the streets for profit. Honestly, the drug market has brought more hindrance within the Black community, from profit, consumption, and incarceration. Prime example, crack cocaine era and the so-called war on drugs. In current times, there are stories about opioid crisis, fentanyl, and codeine, aka lean. They are currently used more from youth as recreational drugs. Prescribed drugs are just as harmful because people have become addicted to them. Athletes are the main consumers of drugs medication. They use them to enhance their performance, but later dealing with cardiac arrest overdosage, and CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. All right. So basically, CTE is dealing with the trauma of the brain. Break it down in its simplistic form. That's all it is, the trauma of the brain. So in the Hood Health Handbook, which was written by Seabass A Life of Law and Supreme Understanding in 2010, drugs often help with one symptom while messing with your body in other ways. How many times have you been prescribed a drug for one issue, yet had to be prescribed another drug to help with the symptoms that come from the first pill? Most medication is registered by the body as poison. They are eventually filtered through the liver and kidney. They increase the toxicity of the body. Just read the small print of your pain medicine. Then, furthermore, he mentions, yes, some pharmaceutical drugs assist people in saving lives. We're not denying that fact. However, every drug has a side effect. These side effects range from nausea to death. Yes, death, that's on the label. This is because A, most pharmaceutical drugs are a chemically altered and unnatural version of the natural remedies originally used by indigenous people. And B, many pharmaceutical drugs are focused on dealing with a symptom rather than the root cause. This narrow focus causes the drug to interfere with the body's natural path of healing. All right, and that's the page number at the bottom. All right. So alcohol comes from an etymology word alcohol, which is an Arabic term, alcohol, which means a fine powder or spirit and essence after distillation. In chemistry, it means an organic compound that carries hydro, hydroacyl, which is bound to a saturated carbon atom. It also has sugar, which is referred to as yeast. Yes, alcohol does contain sugar. Okay. Alcohol is considered as a drug. The only difference is a beverage consumption. In most black communities, there's tons of liquor stores where people can buy alcohol, even those underage, for recreational purpose. Why is consumption is so high? What's the effects of drinking alcohol? Here's some of the statistics. So alcohol or alcoholic beverage contain ethanol and psychoactive and toxic substance that can cause dependence. Worldwide, around 2.6 million deaths were caused by alcohol consumption in 2019. Of these, 1.6 million deaths were non-communicable, yeah, communicable disease, 700,000 deaths from injuries, and 300,000 deaths from communicable disease. The alcohol attributable mortality was heaviest among men, accounting for 2 million deaths compared to 600,000 deaths among women. In 2019, an estimate of 400 million people, or 7% of the world's population aged 15 years and older, live with alcohol use disorders. Of this, 209 million people, 3.7% of the adult world population, live with alcohol dependency. And this is coming from World Health Organization 2024. Now, let's get into talking about sexual transmitted disease, which is also now known as sexual transmitted infection. So, statistics shows that African Americans have a higher rate of STD infection than other racial slash ethnic groups. In 2014, 54.4% of gonorrhea cases occurred among blacks, making the rate more than 10 times than it was amongst white. Rates of chlamydia and syphilis were also significantly higher for blacks than whites in 2014. HPV, or human papilloma virus, is the most common STI and the most common cause of cervical cancer in some women. Black women have higher rates of cervical cancer related deaths than white women. African American, this come from African American Health Program 2025. The numbers of HIV and AIDS are alarming. There are people who believe that it is a hoax. And when I say it is a hoax, that means it's fake or whatever. However, the statistics don't lie. HIV has more negative effects for Black Americans than for other racial and ethnic groups in the United States. HIV has more negative effects for Black Americans than for other racial groups in the United States, though Black people make up just 12% of the US population. They accounted for 39% of all HIV cases in 2022. That was twice the rate of Latinx slash Hispanics and 8 times higher than whites. Black women in particular accounted for more than half of all HIV diagnoses in women in 2022, despite compromising only 13% of the female population in the United States. And this is coming from WebMD Editorial Contributors 2024. So now let's get into this last part right here. Nutritional science. So nutritional science is it's a scientific study of nutrition, foods, and various substance plays the role in the body as far as health, growth, and prevention of diseases. Diets such as mine, Biblio, Paleo, and African heritage falls under nutritional science. So Mediterranean dash intervention for neurodegenerative delay, diet that focus on food to support brain health and possibly prevent disease like Alzheimer, right? Biblio diet comes from a dietary custom that is based on biblical principle and ancient philosophy, whereas paleo diet, unprocessed foods, and based on the diet from the Paleolithic era. And then the African heritage diet is dietary custom practices that came from the West African culture. All right. So these are the diets that are recommended to be used, especially the mind diet. All right. Because there was a study about the mind diet that focused on the study of African Americans and women. And it was said to be that the diet was the best diet recommended because it focused on the brain health and it decreases the chances it decreases the chances of someone developing Alzheimer's disease. So yeah, so that's the most recommended diet out of all the diets on here. And what they all have in common, they are anti-inflammatory diets. So anti-inflammatory diets, the purpose of it is to get rid of the get rid of inflammation in the body, basically. And that inflammation can come from it could come from processed food, it could come from starches, it could come from sugary products, things of that nature. So if anyone eats starches or processed food or anything that has a lot of sugar content in it, it could cause inflammation to the body. That's what it does. So anti-inflammatory diet is supposed to help prevent inflammation from taking place. So right here is the reference. Okay, so this is the list of the reference that you guys can check out for yourselves if you want to learn more information. And that's it. Okay, so that's it. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and post a link in here, and if anybody want to come in and talk, we can do that. All right, so let me go ahead and post a link in there for you guys. So if anybody want to come in, and let me see. All right, brother Silky is here. Let me go ahead and add you. Hey, how you doing?
In the words of Sinetta, God damn, that was some powerful stuff, girl. That was
Oh,
that was
thank you, thank
powerful.
you, thank
Yeah,
you,
that,
thank
that
you.
was. I wish you'd let me up early. I'd have been. It's a whole lot of key points you need to go touch up on. Shoot, we could have been dialoguing about all day, like we still can. Like the part about
Yeah,
the cancer part is fire. The part about the food, the corner stores, making these kids eat these snacks that are processed, that was fire. The part about the Brian Ollie girl, yeah, you need man, yeah, that was fire. Good stuff. Real, that's what they need to hear. And then the cancer and the cancer rates and the percentages. Oh,
yes,
that's
yes.
how
The
you.
cancer
Yeah,
rate is very
that's how
high.
you.
People don't really understand like how serious cancer is. Like,
That
and
part.
then the most common cancer in our community is,
Colon.
yeah, colon cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, kidney, and breast cancer. Those are the
But you know,
main common cancer.
the goddamn like I truthfully think it's the chicken. I say stay away from the chicken because they put so many chemicals in the chicken, and the chicken is like predominantly, I guess, genetically modified. You know what I'm saying? They've been tweaking that bitch for a while now. So I would say leave the chicken alone. Try to not to go too heavy on the pork. Leave the pork alone. Try to buy lean. Try to get lean, clean. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's about the parasites. The food the stuff that they're putting in this food is parasitical. It can grow parasites inside of you. Those parasites get inside you and start causing problems.
And I wouldn't just argue that it's parasites. I would also argue environmental conditions as well, you know, because the type of environment that we live in, it most of the time those areas are polluted. And when you have like warehouses that deal with nuclear plants, right?
Air
And people
control,
in
air
right,
quality.
right, and people inhale all that stuff that comes from the warehouse, it can also have a
Mm.
detriment to the body as well.
That part, yeah, that plays a factor. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Our bodies are very fragile, very, very fragile state. Don't get it twisted, but and a lot of stuff can take effect. You know, it don't take nothing for you to catch that cold. Let's show me somebody that's immune to the cold. That, you like it's just the way. It don't take one little germ to get you. So you got to take care of yourself. Like you said, eat healthy. Try to stay healthy, stay fit. That blood pumping. When they say you got to take that aspirin, right, to get the blood pumping through the veins, otherwise your arteries will clog up and your blood vessels, pellets won't be able to flow, and you mess around, give yourself a heart attack or a stroke.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's why and see what people have to know that the primary medicine is the food. That's your primary medicine because you're talking about plants here, you know what I'm saying?
Healthy food,
Talking
right?
about uh certain type of proteins that you need, and certain type of minerals, but um, I am a person that I am for integrative medicine. And what that means, integrative deals with complementary medicine and also conventional medicine. So conventional medicine is like prescribed medication, vaccine and things like that. Whereas complementary deals with holistic healing, home remedies, and whatnot. So,
Well,
but
I hear.
here's the thing. But here's the
Good.
thing. It's very important that diet plays a role into
Hmm.
maintaining a balanced health. Because if you solely just
Right.
relying on medicine, you're gonna continue to just become addicted to medication, and your body is not
Mm.
gonna get any better because you're
Speak
putting
on
all
it.
the medicine in your body and you're not changing your diet. So medicine can
Let
only
me
work as good as your diet.
let me. Great. That was a good line. Good statement. Let me break down y'all what she just told y'all. She's saying if you constantly stay on one thing, one certain thing, your body will what you would say adapt, I guess, or it would get used to it, or it would, what I'm saying, it would gel and with that whatever you're using at the most, and it would become part of you, kind of like, right, what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like if you're not changing your diet,
But if you keep
and
doing
your
it, your body will get addicted to it because you keep doing it all the time, right?
right, your body's going, yeah, it's relying on medicine, but the medicine is only going to do so much work for your body. You know what I'm saying? So that means that you have to change your diet as well. So in order for that medicine to work effectively, because if you're not going to change your diet and you just keep taking medication after medication, then you're going to continue to rely on medicine.
Mm.
When if you change your diet, it can decrease the amount of medication that you have to take.
Right. If you're eating healthy, right? If you're eating healthier foods that are better for your body and like getting
Right.
rid of detox,
And
getting
exercising too.
toxins
And
done,
exercising. Yeah.
right? You're getting blood
Night.
flow, heart pumping, joints. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when I talk about
Okay.
exercise, yeah, when I talk about exercising, people just think like just going and lift weights. Like there's nothing wrong with lifting weights, but
Don't
see,
hold back. They need to hear this. People need to
yeah,
hear this.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with lifting weights. However, lifting weights is just like a beauty enhancement. Because if you put too much weight on you as far as like doing bench presses or incline presses, then what's going to happen is it's going to cause you to have a cardiac arrest because you're not letting your heart, what I'm saying, relax. So that's why
So
the
you're talking
doctors,
about, are you referring to like moderation?
yeah, like if you're going to do presses, yeah, like do it in moderation, not do it so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why doctors always tell you to do your cardio. Cardio is very important. That should be the first thing. Well, before you even do cardio, the first thing should be stretching. Like
Okay.
yeah, stretching your body and whatnot. Then you get into your cardio. So when you get into the cardio, that helps, relaxes your heart and make sure that the blood is flowing properly in your body. You know what I'm saying?
Can
So
you do me
cardio
a
is considered
favor?
good. Huh?
Can you do me a favor and go back to the statistics of the percentages and the numbers of the people? What was that, year 22?
Let me see.
Who they said was coming down with what? And, it's apparently out the studies. Hopefully they're not too skewed.
I'm trying to see what you talking about. You talking about which one?
All your percentages. You can pull them all up. I was digging all of them, kind of. It was kind of decent to hear.
All right, hold on, hold on.
Because you said it was like, first you was like the black man, and then you said the black woman, and then you said it's more than the Indian man. Indian man ain't even getting sick of us.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold
I
on.
hear you. I mean, yeah, but you refer like it's just the black community. You know what I'm saying? We going getting stuff that's the top ramen, all that salt. You know what I mean? Eating bad food that's not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is processed. Like a lot of that stuff in the snack aisle, 90% of it, everything in the snack aisle is actually processed. So you gonna gotta go to the organic aisle. Actually grabbing anything on the
And then you
snack
gotta be
aisle.
careful with certain stuff that says organic. Just because it says organic may not mean that it's always organic.
That part too.
Yeah,
There you got a good point. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, you gotta.
So let me go into. Are you talking about the high blood pressure or just overall?
I would have been stopping you and just reiterating on every point because you had so many good points in there. I just think they needed to be expunged on a little more. Like you kind of sold them short. I would have gave, like I said, but I was out. But you had some fire points
Yeah.
in there. Get us with the first stat. The first stat you got.
What about the high blood pressure?
Right.
Okay. So again, as you can see, hypertension is a condition of the cardiovascular system, which is responsible for carrying blood to every
Hold on.
part of
Time out. Time out. I'm gonna stop. Hypertension, y'all. You heard what she said, right? Hypertension.
hypertension.
Tell me what hypertension is. Stress,
So
right?
okay, when you have hypertension, right, that means you at stage one. There's different type of hypertension. You got one and you got two. So they go
Okay.
by yeah. So there's a number system, right, that determines your hypertension. So the normal rate for high blood pressure is 120 over 80. That's the normal. That's the normal rate for high
120
blood
over
pressure.
80. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep
And
going. Keep cooking. Don't hold back. You got it. Go ahead.
all right. So when it's slightly elevated, that's like if it's let's say if it's like 129 over 83, that means it's slightly elevated. But then sometimes, doctors might look at that as being normal. It depends. But once it gets to like, let's say 130, or not even 130, let's say it gets to like 140 over 90 or somewhere like that, that's when you hit the hypertension level. So you at hypertension 1, and if it gets to like 150 over 100, that's hypertension 2. And then, yeah, and then if it goes any higher than that, that means it's time for you to go to the doctor. I
Ah,
mean, yeah, it's time for you to go to the doctor.
so
So
you
the
should have been
top
with your
number is
doctor
called
then.
the systolic. So the systolic number deals with how your heart is pumping in and out, like how fast your heart is pumping, right? That's a
Okay.
systolic. And the
Mm-hmm.
diastolic deals with the time that your heart is resting in between. Okay, so the bottom number deals with when your heart is resting in between, and the top number is dealing with how
The beat
fast your
and the
heart is
offbeat.
going.
Right. The beat and the offbeat, right?
Huh?
The beat and the offbeat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much like that. Yeah, the beat and offbeat. Yeah, if that's how you understand. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, keep going.
Okay. So yeah.
And so what is the range? What's the heart rate they supposed to have?
So normally the acceptable range for a normal blood pressure is 120 over 80. Or if it's less than 120, if it's less than 80, then it's good. So but 120 over
Okay.
80 is the normal range for a high blood pressure.
120 over 80, y'all. And if you got, and what would be a danger zone? What would be a go make sure
If
you
you
go hit that go.
if you over 150, if let's say if you like if you got 160 over, let's say you got 160 over 110, that's the danger zone.
Mm, All right, y'all heard what you say, y'all. That's the
Yeah,
danger
cause
zone. So you can easily
yeah, cause you're on your way to
go
having
by.
a heart attack.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely check that, y'all.
and
And
then
what
what
is that
people
from
don't
eating?
understand is, and I put some notes on here. Hold on, let me
Go
get off of
ahead,
here.
Greg. Go ahead. You cooking tonight?
Yeah, hold on. So what people don't understand
Mm-hmm.
is that, let me hold up. Here I go.
It's your boy Silky D in the building. You know what I'm saying? We over here
Okay
cooking it
then.
up
Okay,
to bring
so
y'all that.
now what people don't know, when it comes to high blood pressure, it is also known as a silent killer, which means a person doesn't feel the symptoms or notice any signs.
Mm. Hold on. Let's bring that here. You want
Yeah,
bring that
it's in
back
my
up. Let's
speaker
get
notes.
them again. No,
Yeah, it's in
what
my speaker notes.
read that on again.
Okay, I'll read it again. It said, I put down, high blood pressure is also known as a silent killer, which means that a
Mm.
person doesn't feel the symptoms or notice any signs.
Mm. Y'all know what she just told y'all. She just said you could be doing whatever, like having a regular day, regular moment, everything going honky dory, and guess what? And
Yep,
just
that's
you
yeah.
out of there. That's what she's
And
saying.
then the
No
worst thing about
symptoms,
it,
no.
you can have it in
Mm.
your sleep. You can have a heart, yeah, you can end up with a heart attack in your sleep or have a stroke in your sleep.
Is that why they've been talking about the snoring? How did like the snoring is bad or something like that?
Nah, that's something totally different. That doesn't
Okay.
really necessarily
Okay.
have, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
but yeah. But like you could be laying down sleep peacefully and you all of a sudden have a heart attack.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why people supposed to monitor their blood pressure to see where their blood pressure is at, because anything can happen at any time. So anything can go wrong in your
Mm.
body and you don't even know it.
Type shit. No warnings. Your heart might just stop. Your blood might clog up, not
Yep.
get to the heart. Hmm. The heart ain't pumping. The veins ain't flowing.
Right.
You don't even know it.
Right. You don't even know. Yeah, that's right. You don't know. You don't know what's going on.
So you gotta, like, hey, protect way. Hey, health as well. Holler at your people. Try to stay fit. Try to eat good. Give them
Yeah,
some
and
more,
then
girl.
and also minimize the amount of stress that you take in. Stress can kill you. So yeah, stress is
Yeah, I guess it
something.
would, because all that on the brain, all that like heavy stimulus, all that heavy interaction on the brain waves, it could cook it internally over time. And I guess you would say overwork it. It's almost like, you know what I'm saying? You driving your car at like 100 the whole time. That motor ain't gonna last too long. Almost to the tortoise in the hair. But, moderation.
Right. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so you don't want to overstimulate yourself. But what happens is by us living in a society, especially under the economic system like capitalism, right? It brings about a lot of
Hmm.
stress on individuals because we're trying to make sure we meet the standards. We meet the
Mm,
income standards, just so we can survive. And like with the
like,
government shutdown being in place,
mm,
the government shutdown is really taking a toll on a lot of people, especially those who are
mm-hmm.
federal workers, because they're not getting paid. Because when if you're a federal worker and the government shut down, you're not going to get paid.
Are they gonna
So
get a double check when they come back? Do they
yeah, they
get?
gonna
Do
get
they
all the
get?
money.
They
Yeah,
gonna
they
get
gonna
that
get all
time
the
back?
money. Yeah, now
They
when
gonna
yeah
get it
when
back?
once the government opens up, once the government
They
shut
get
down
that back
ends,
money.
yeah, they get back pay. Yeah,
Oh, so they really ain't just kind of
right.
just. They really like it. I'm
But
pretty
in the
sure they gave me a heads
meantime,
up too. It's
but in
like,
the
yo,
meantime,
a
if the
couple of weeks from
government
now, you
shut
shut
down
it
for
down.
like 30
Pay your
days
money.
or 45 days, and you're gonna be behind bills, right? You're gonna be behind your rent because you ain't got no income coming in, but you are required to go to work.
And they got to go to work too.
Yeah. If you're a federal worker, yeah, you still got to go to work as a federal worker if you're not getting paid.
So how is shut down, but they still got to work? Crazy.
Yeah. That's just how it is. That's how it goes.
They ain't
So
shut
let's say
down
if you
then.
work for
They still
TSA, right?
clocking in.
Let's say you work for TSA, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which is Homeland Security. So if you work for
Airport
TSA,
security, checking
right,
bags,
and you're not getting
dealing with
paid,
terror too,
huh?
international terror. They're dealing with terrorists too, because it's the airport. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's custom. Yeah, customs deal with a lot of that. Yeah, but yeah, TSA and custom. Yeah,
Everybody on the computer for it. All security at least are kind of like,
yeah, yeah. But anyways, if you're working for
Mhm.
TSA, and that again, that's a federal government job, and the government is shut down, you still have to be required to come work because you're gonna have passengers coming in. So you still gotta do your job as if you still getting paid, but you're not making any money. Why
They
the
was gonna break them off nice or something when they get that money back. Or like that, last, but they
Yeah.
ain't.
But what I'm saying is that could just bring about a significant amount of stress on people. And then those who are losing
Mm,
their benefits as well, the SNAP benefit, the food stamps,
yeah,
yeah, that's bringing a lot of
right.
stress on other people as well. That's causing people to like really
Mm.
go into a state of depression. They in a state of survival mode because they're like, dang, how am I going to get this money to take care to bring some food in the house? And by the holidays coming up, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, people worrying about, well, if they're gonna be able to buy stuff, to cook some dinners or prepare some food for the holidays.
You know what? Now that I think about it, uh, when has it never not been anybody? When has it never not been a time where people couldn't? It was people who couldn't afford meals for Thanksgiving or holidays.
Mm.
There's always been people that's been needing meals. It's always somebody needs a meal, I guess. I mean, we're gonna get the turkey, cranberry. But yeah, stress though, definitely. Yeah, it'll stress you out. I guess if your little snack money is gone, yeah, and then everything else, yeah, I can see it. Definitely stress. And then in the black community too, right? And in the lower
Right.
income areas, and they can't because of that. Now they can't afford their medical and like are they those type of things. So you stress on that. So then it spirals down. And now you stressing over everything. And now you behind on everything. Mm. And now everything that you're behind on is taking a toll on your heart.
Right. It take a toll over you mentally. See, what people don't understand, it starts off at the mental state. So,
Mm.
it starts off psychologically and then it becomes emotional and then once it go from the emotional state, it become physical. But it all starts psychologically because it's the pressure on the mind. So when there's too much pressure is on the mind, right, then it takes the toll of the whole entire body.
Do you want to speak on infections? Infections, viruses, germs.
I mean, yeah, I'll speak a little bit on it. I'll speak a little bit about it. Uh,
Come on, sister, give us what you got.
okay, so real quick. Uh, so let's go back. So people tend to believe that. Um, let me share the screen.
Go ahead, do your thing. I want to touch on the herbs too. We're gonna get back to the holistic thing also. I want to touch on that. That was another good point I wanted to get to. But we're
Yeah.
good though. We can.
Okay. So go ahead and post it up.
If anybody know about, what I'm saying, medical, whatever, just come on through.
Yeah.
We
So.
welcome all nurses, aides, doctors, all that, herbalists,
Oh yeah,
witch
yeah, yeah,
doctors.
yeah, yeah. Doctors are very needed, especially in our community. So yeah, that they are very important. They play a role for us. But
That's
anyways,
fine.
let's get into like the sexual transmitted disease. So when we deal with HIV,
Mm-hmm.
HIV is one of the highest rate of sexual transmitted disease besides HPV. Um,
Mm,
a lot of people tend to think that HIV does not exist. Well, not a lot of people, but there are people who really believe that HIV is fake and is made up
mm.
or whatever. But
Nothing fake.
yes, that no, yeah, people literally believe that. There are people that
What's
believes that.
fake about it? They think.
It's
That's
nothing fake
funny.
about it. You're dealing with a virus. And see, the way that viruses survive, they survive through a host cell. You got to have a host cell
Mm-hmm.
in order for the survive in order for the viruses to get inside and to take over the body. So people don't realize how serious HIV is, and especially in the 90s, it was a major crisis. It was a major
Mm,
crisis in the 90s and the early 2000s and in the 80s as well.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so many people was hit hard with
Shout
HIV.
out Easy.
Yeah, it hit the
Yeah, shout out
black community
Easy.
very hard.
Oh,
So and it's not enough to be discussed, especially within the school. I remember when I was in grade school, we had to learn about sexual transmitted disease. When
mm,
I was in middle school, we had to learn about this, so we had to take sex education.
that's
And
right.
so and the benefit behind it is you learn about reproductive system, you learn about babies, you learn about sexual transmitted disease. It's very important. So
Mm. Yeah, y'all get checked out. Try to stay clean. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your bodies.
yeah, exactly. And you gotta be mindful who you engage into activities with. What I'm saying? You gotta be mindful who you have sex with, who you lay up with, because you don't know what that person may carry.
That part, and then y'all be like having like balances and whatnot, right? They gotta be right. Throw your balance off.
Yeah.
It's all about
Yep.
balance, having a balanced breakfast, well balanced breakfast. You know. About finding that balance.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. And getting to holistic. Well, there's people that try to say that holistic doesn't work. I mean, I get it in certain areas. You can't really use holistic medicine, especially when it comes to a serious disease like cancer. you know,
Mm.
um, because like holistic medicine won't cure cancer per se. So you will have to go through chemotherapy. Now, what it will do and what it can do bring about remission to cancer, mean that you still have the cancer in your body, but your body just doesn't deal with the symptoms. It doesn't feel any side effects from the cancer, but the cancer is still there. Just like with
Mm.
diabetes, right? There's no cure for diabetes because once you get diabetes, you got diabetes. Now, the only thing is your body can go into remission when it comes to diabetes. Like, especially if you got type 1 diabetes, it'll go into remission, but the diabetes is going to still be there.
Ah,
Yeah. So, but what the benefits of holistic healing is, like, for example, meditation, doing meditation and
hold,
Pilates.
hold
Yeah,
on,
that
time out.
helps
Tell
with
her,
the.
what is the, hold on, real quick. What is the causes of cancer?
What are the causes of cancer?
Hmm.
Well, there could be various things that bring about the causes of cancer. So, hold on, go back to my notes. Let me go back to my notes.
And then we can go
So
back to the
basically,
holistic.
it's various things that can cause cancer. So basically, what it is, it just deals with the abnormal cells. So if the abnormal cells does not remove itself from the body, what it'll do is it will multiply. It mean that I mean, not multiply, it will divide. And once it divides, then they build like a cluster, a tiny cluster, which end up being in part of various parts of your organs, such as like your lungs, your pancreas, your breast cancer, your breast, etc. So there is no, I can't really say like give a definitive answer as far as like what caused the cancer per se, because it's various factor. Now, one thing I can say is cancer can be genetic too. Cancer can run in the family. You know what I'm
Hold on,
saying?
time out, time out. Hold on. We got somebody in the chat. We got
Okay.
somebody in the chat. Jay Snake the Great.
Okay.
Cancer cells are already in everyone's body. Hey,
Okay.
Jay Snake, would you like to hit the panel? Would you like to hit the link? Would you like to jump on? Jump on? You got any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll wait on that. Go ahead, keep going.
but yeah, as I was saying, that cancer can be genetic because let's say if someone in your family has cancer, like your mom or your dad, right? It could be passed on down to you. So cancer does run in the family. That's the part
Right.
about it. So you'll have a greater chance of having cancer because someone in your family had it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like with my situation, so for example, my mother had breast cancer when she was in her 40s, you know. So it's recommended like for women, if someone in the family was diagnosed with breast cancer, it's recommended that women go ahead and get their mammogram early to just get it out the
Mm-hmm.
way. And then they don't have to go back
Mm-hmm.
again till they like in their 40s.
That's right.
Yep.
Go ahead, girl. Keep cooking.
So yeah, but there's various factors taking place that can cause cancer. And like I said, it goes back to the abnormal cells in your body.
Mm.
So, when those abnormal cells is in your body, right, and they divide up into pieces, they end up building this cluster to where it builds, it spreads all over. And that's when you have like a stage 4 cancer. So once you get to that stage 4 cancer, that basically means that the cancer doesn't spread throughout your body and it's hard to like get rid of through chemotherapy or radiation. So they call that metastasis. That's what it's called, metastasis.
Woo! Ah,
Hmm.
goddamn.
Yeah,
Powerful stuff, girl. Powerful stuff.
yeah. So yeah,
Shit.
so once the cancer spreads throughout your body, radiation can't really do much. Chemotherapy won't do that much of a work. That's just how serious cancer is.
Mm, goddamn.
Hmm.
So let's so what do you think about so the pills and the pharmaceuticals? Are the herbs not plants? What are extracts?
I mean, the herbs are plants. You know what I'm saying? The herbs are plants basically, but again, like I said, herbs can only do so much for you. You know,
Mm,
if you have a new form of disease out here, right? A virus at that, you know, it's going to be hard for the herbs to get rid of that particular virus. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but you know, herbs are needed. You know what I'm saying, to help bring about remission, to help better the immune system or whatnot. But it can't, like it doesn't always cure any disease that you have or every disease that you got. So um yeah, but are they needed? Yes, herb of course is needed. So yeah, so I like I said,
mm,
I'm for integrative medicine. So I support the usage of complementary medicine and also conventional medicine.
mm. Well, you were speaking earlier about how you got to take a pill and then they got to give you another pill for the other pill side effects.
Right. Yeah. So that means, like, basically, going back to what I was saying, your diet is very important, even while you're on medicine, because the medication can only do so much work for the body. The
Mm,
medication can only do so much work. So you can, I mean, you could sit there and just keep taking pills all day, but again, if you're not maintaining good diet, then it's only going to make it worse for you. Because then it's going to lead to
mm,
another situation, and then that situation going to lead to another situation, then so on and so forth. So you have to really take care of yourself. You really have to eat properly. You have to really, like, maintain your diet while you while you dealing with medication. So it's like, so basically, like, medication is just like a booster to your body. That's all it is. It's like a booster.
mm,
Then you have to be careful with certain medicine that you take.
mm.
You can't take too much. You
Speak
can't.
on
That's why when you look at the pills, it tell you to take one pill a day, two pills a day, etc. Because if you take too many at once, you can overdose.
Hold
And
on, wait. I gotta ask you. Hold on, time out. For the
yes,
people, I gotta ask you. COVID shot or no COVID shot?
COVID shot.
COVID or no COVID shot? Shot or
Uh,
no shot?
I'm for COVID shots. Yeah, I took the
You
COVID
COVID
shot.
before? Oh, you got the shot.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I got the shot some years ago.
How-
Yeah.
You you okay? Everything's been pretty smooth.
Yeah, everything was fine for me. Yeah. Now there was a little side effect taking place. There was a little side effect as
Ah,
far as, like, my back was hurting for a little bit, but outside
not
that
bad
it was smooth. Yeah.
from the COVID.
Yeah, from the shot. Yeah, you gonna feel, so when you take the
Oh,
shot, sometimes you're gonna feel the side effects.
mm,
Because the medicine is trying to, like, get in and making sure that it, I guess the medicine trying to get in to make sure that it become familiar with your body and its function or whatnot. So yeah. Um,
mm,
so with that being said, I mean, I took the shot or whatnot, and then I kind of felt some form of side effects here and there, but outside of
mm,
that, yeah, I'm for the vaccine. Now, everybody does not believe in getting vaccinated, and again, that's a personal choice. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you don't believe that you need to take a vaccine, then that's on you. You don't have to.
mm,
There's some people that didn't take any type of vaccine during COVID-19, and they was doing okay. They didn't catch COVID. They was all right.
Right.
So, hmm so
I
yeah, I
hear
mean,
you.
yeah. So I support vaccine. I do. I support vaccination. But you just like I said, you just gotta be aware that there's gonna come with some side effects. So if you're gonna get vaccinated, you're gonna probably deal with some side effects from it. But again, I'm not against any vaccination
Hmm.
because if
Okay.
it's needed, it's
All right.
needed. If you gotta get vaccinated, then you just gotta get vaccinated.
Do you want to speak on do you want to talk about speak on body weight or anything like that?
By the way, it's you mean like well, okay,
Medical
yeah,
wise.
yeah, body weight, yeah, that's important too. The more weight that you have on your body, the more it can bring about pressure on it. So,
Arthritis, joints.
right, things
Go
like that,
ahead.
yeah. So weight loss is necessary. It helps because it helps to pretty much balance the body out because you don't want to put too much weight on your body to where you can't hold yourself up. And what happens is when people pick up too much weight, they having a hard time maintaining their weight because it's wearing them down. You can only hold so much weight on yourself.
Mm.
So
And what are the things that cause those type of symptoms?
what you mean? As far
What
as weight
food
is
should
concerned?
what is the food that you can eat that would get you to them points?
Like I said, starches. If you eat too much starches, they'll cause you to gain weight. If you eat too much sugary content, right, that's gonna cause you to gain weight. You know, like let's say eating too much pasta, eating too much fries, eating too much
Hmm.
candy, eating too much chocolate, that will cause a weight gain. And
Speak
then it's
on the
like
sugar and carbs. Break that down for everybody. The sugar carb, how that go?
the sugar carb. Okay, so what I can do is
What's the carbs? Break down how the sugars and the carbs?
okay. Oh, you talking about carbohydrate sugars? That's what you're talking about?
No, the carbs, carbohydrates, and the and the sugar. Well, the sugar and the
Okay,
carbs.
so when we go into the definition, right? Since people using AI, let's go into the AI definition.
Right there you
All
go.
right. So sugars are a type of carbohydrate that provide the body with energy. Okay. So what both carbs and sugar both have in common, they provide energy for the body. You know what I'm saying? So whenever the body needs like the resources to be able to move around or to be able to stay active, then it depends on that sugar content that's in the body. But if you overstimulate your body with a lot of sugar, then it's going to slow your process down. And then that's where the diabetes start to come in. And the
There you
reason why
go, girl. Now you're
yeah, and the
cooking.
reason
Speak
why
on that.
the reason why the diabetes come in is because the insulin has declined or the insulin is no longer there because too much glucose or too much sugar is
Ah,
being it has taken away the insulin in the body, so it makes it hard for the pancreas to produce more insulin.
break all that down. Hit them with that one more time.
I said okay, the when you have too much sugar or have too much carb in your body, right, what happened is basically the sugar and carbs are there to bring energy to your body when it's needed. Okay. But when you overstimulate your body with too much sugar and carbs, what's going to happen is it takes away all the insulin that's there. And once it takes away the insulin,
Mm.
or the insulin starts to decline. So when the insulin starts to decline or it's been taken away, it makes it hard for the pancreas to produce more insulin. So
So the
therefore,
pancreas got to produce the insulin to break down the sugar.
say again.
I said the pancreas got to produce the insulin to break down the sugar.
Yes, yeah, it has to produce the insulin to keep the sugar level under control. Yes.
Mm. And if you get
Mhm.
too much sugar, right? Too much
And if
over
you
sugar.
Yeah, if you get too much sugar in your body, then it takes away the insulin. So that means that the pancreas won't be able to produce the insulin that's needed, which is why you see people taking like, they have to stick themselves with needles like 4 or 5
Mm,
times a day. They have to stick
mm.
themselves with needles to make sure they have enough insulin to be able to keep the sugar level under control.
Ah,
Hmm.
and what you said, that's the breads and the sweets, huh?
Yeah, the breads, it could be the sweets.
Starches.
Yeah, starches, yeah. Even alcohol,
Mm.
alcohol contained with sugar.
Break that down on them. Tell them how to break that down for them so they know how that works.
What, alcohol?
The alcohol, the bread, break down how that turns into the car, how that breaks down
Yeah,
to the
I
sugar.
just did. So yeah, yeah,
Right.
basically, yeah, yeah. But alcohol contains a sugar called the yeast. Okay,
Mm,
so
mm. Yeast.
yeah, so basically,
Keep
yeah. So
going.
but it's not like, so with alcohol, it can really, what alcohol really does, it can destroy the liver. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
it really does a serious damage to the liver when you consume too much of it. Um, and it's again, by that being sugar content, that does cause a serious effect. If you, especially if you're diabetes and you're drinking alcohol, it will cause a serious effect on your body.
mm.
Yeah. So, um,
Speak on it. Speak
but
on
then
it.
you
So you
gotta understand,
sweating
see, and people who have diabetes, they have to understand that their body is prone to, it's going to end up, your body more than likely is going to be exposed to like various type of illness or whatnot, because
it. Mm,
especially dealing with your pancreas, because if you're type 1 diabetic and you have to, like, take insulin or whatnot, your pancreas is not as strong as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
mm.
going into that weaker stage. You know what I'm saying? So in order to make sure
Officer.
your pancreas is stimulating and being able to, process or whatnot, you have to make sure you stay on that medication. You have to make sure you stay on top of it, because otherwise you can end up with all type of disease like cancer, like pancreatic cancer.
Mm,
That's serious. D'Angelo
mm.
died from pancreatic cancer. So I
Ah,
don't know if he was a diabetic or not, but either way, when you're, yeah, so that's just how serious it is. So like somebody who's a diabetic, they have to really be careful, and be mindful, especially if they're consuming alcohol. They have to be careful of how much alcohol they consume, because again, that the combination of alcohol and diabetes, it doesn't really go together. It's not a good
mm.
look for the body.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Information right here, y'all. She giving y'all that fire, them gems, man, and the medical tip, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, take all that. Take all that into consideration, moderation. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff, good stuff. So anything else? Keep going. You got any more? You got anything? Keep on cooking.
Um. Well, nah. Pretty much that's it for now. Oh
You ain't
yeah.
conversing with
Oh,
the
hold on.
what
Wait.
you
Wait.
got?
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Okay. Anybody at the door? Staying over in the studio? Everybody on?
Yeah. So what inspired me to talk about this?
Hmm.
What inspired
Keep
me to
going.
talk about this is because, a lot of celebrities, especially the black celebrities in our community, a lot of them have died between the ages 35 and 51.
Ah,
Yeah.
what?
So, we done lost D'Angelo,
Mm,
Fat Man Scoop. He died from a
mm,
heart attack. Let's see, DJ Unk, Irv
mm.
Gotti, Rich
Ah.
Homie Quan.
Mm-mm.
Um, who else passed away? I think, what's his name? DJ Clark Kent. That's his name. Um,
Okay.
MF Doom passed on.
Mm. All them due to health reasons?
Huh? Yeah, a lot of it had to do with health reasons. Yeah.
Health reasons, y'all. Taking them
Yeah.
out. What they living to? 50?
Many of them died between the ages like but between the ages of 35 to 51. Yeah,
Mm.
Biz Markie. Yeah, Biz Markie is another one. Biz Markie had diabetes. Irv Gotti had he was in a diabetic coma.
Ah,
Yeah, when he
man.
passed. DMX, you know what I'm saying? And just recently, Young Bleed just died. The one that was with No Limit. He
What?
did a song called How You Do That
They
there.
just did the verses? Did they just do
Huh?
the verses?
Yeah,
When he
yeah,
had the verses?
he just passed. Yeah. He
Get
had a
out of
brain
here.
aneurysm.
What?
He had a brain aneurysm.
Oh, man. Brandon. Oh, my God.
Right, yeah. Dave from De La Soul, yep.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Health awareness, folks. Health awareness.
Yeah, so yeah,
Physically.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you
Fit.
gotta have health. And then you have people that overdose on drugs, like Rich Home Quan overdosed on drugs. It was another
Mm.
female rapper,
Shout
her
out to
name
Pimp
is
C. Shout out to
yeah,
Pimp
what's her name?
C.
Enchant.
Big Mo, Big Hawk, Fat Pack, DJ Screw. Y'all know the crew.
Yeah, DJ Screw. What's her name? Enchant. I think that was her name. Enchant. Yeah, Enchant. She was a rapper under Gucci Man record label. She died from overdose.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Can't let the drugs get the best of y'all. Can't let the drugs do you. Do the drugs. Don't let them do
Right.
you.
People doing that lean and stuff like that. Lean is not nothing to play around with. That lean is that
Ah,
will seriously do a damage to your kidneys.
I heard you say something about the lane. Ah, yeah,
Yeah, the
that city is
codeine.
served right here. That's A-Town. You know, that's city is served, Drink City. Yeah, come on, we
Yeah,
gotta do
and
better.
it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very popular in Texas, but it's also popular throughout the United States. People doing lean and stuff. People doing opioids. You
Mm.
know, fentanyl, popping pills. Yeah, basically, and
What they know about the two cups? Two styrofoam cups drank, drank up and drinked
right,
out.
right. Yeah, drinking out the styrofoam cups. Yeah.
Shout out to the A-Town. You know, that's home for me. But yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Fire. So
Yeah,
lean,
so
slowing down drugs, overdoing it.
yeah, and then Ananda Lewis, she died from breast cancer. Ananda Lewis was the host. She was a former host for Teen Summit on BET.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's the one with the pretty long hair, the dark skinned lady, pretty long hair. Her name was
What
Ananda
was that
Lewis.
source?
Yeah,
What was
she
that
was a
source
host
you
for
put about? You
huh?
had put a source about the black woman. I think you said something like 60%. They was
Yeah,
what statistic was it you pulled? You pulled a percentage out, I think, and then you said the Mexican women are coming in lower, are coming in. They come in after, but they come in before them.
yeah. So going back real quick, going back real quick.
Yeah, that was a cold point. Yeah, that was another one of those stats I wanted to look at. That was wild. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that was just crazy when you hear. It. And then you said what? Because they only represented 13%, and then you said
Huh?
they made up for 30% or something
Yeah,
like that.
okay,
Yeah,
black
that's what's
people,
up.
we make up 12% of the population.
Okay,
Yeah.
but in that
So we,
city,
we supposedly make up 12% of the population. Um,
what the heck?
yeah, we make up the 12%. So, going back to cancer, yeah, black women are 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than white women, and are twice as likely to die if they are younger than 50.
Wow, what? Dang,
Yep.
they not even making it to 50. They giving them a 40% chance of making it to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
damn.
like Ananda Lewis again, she was a host for BET Teen Summit, and she hosts MTV or TRL at one point. She
Mm-hmm.
was I think she was like 51 when she passed.
Mm.
Yeah. Rico Wade, from the one that the producer for Outkast. He had died. He had a heart attack. He was like 49 years old.
Mm. They put that food. If you do the food, yeah, the food is almost a drug, almost a poison in itself. Especially if you eat enough of the bad stuff. But 40% in the toilet. Wow, crazy numbers.
Yeah, yeah, the numbers are crazy. Yeah, so it's a lot of health. It's a lot of health disparities. Excuse me. It's a lot of health disparities in the Black community.
Mm.
Again, it's a lot of health disparities in the Black community, and people have to really.
Disparity in the poverty community.
And the
Say
who?
the disparity in the poverty community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of health disparity going on. So and by us living in a community where there is lack of you know
That's
resources
the
as far as
poverty.
like
Right.
nutrition wise, you don't find too many farmers markets in the hood. You're not gonna find
Type
farmers markets
stuff.
like that in the hood. You know what I'm
Little
saying?
nose. Speak on it.
So if you want to go find a farmers market, you gotta go cross town.
Let's speak on it. Why we don't have where our black grocery stores,
Well, there
vegetable
is some. Hold
stores.
on. Well, there is some farm. There is some in certain community. There are black entrepreneurs, as I mentioned, that are working towards opening up their own grocery stores. Uh, they have their own gardens. There are
Yeah.
those who even have farmer markets taking place like different days of the week. So there are people who are actually promoting health awareness that's really trying
Mm.
to do so. But again, when
Okay.
you have those competitors, right, in the community,
Mm.
when you got those liquor
Ah.
stores and the gas stations, you know what I'm saying? A lot of
Mm.
people get addicted to those areas because that's what they're so accustomed to. That's what they're so used to.
God damn.
They
I
used to
shit.
going to the gas station. They used to going to the liquor stores. They're not really used to going to farmer markets like that. So the idea of farmer markets in the black community is like pretty oblivious to us.
Mm. Ooh.
It's very oblivious
Yeah.
to us
Yeah.
because
They
it's
don't
not
even know what that is. Let them know.
okay. When I say oblivious, that means that it's not uh it's not very
Coming.
common to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not something that we're used
Mhm.
to. We're not so used
That
to
part.
having a farmer's market.
We gotta leave way far. They probably gotta go a little ways just to get to them to it.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You have to go long ways to get to it. Yes.
Well, good guy. Yeah. She makes a great point. Keeping the keeping the struggle, keeping the in-house decline, going down just by the environment and the choices. I mean, the environment's one thing, but the choices. So we gotta, leave that stuff alone. Leave that all that bad food alone. Try to be as minimal as you can, I guess. But let them tell it though. Then we're gonna be taking somebody chip route, somebody's soda, Coca-Cola route.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna be hurting somebody. People that work at the cereal factory gonna be mad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But it's like,
So
ooh, don't some of that stuff got cardboard in it? Right? Some
who?
of that stuff got red dye in it.
Um I mean, yeah, certain stuff have like certain type of chemicals in there. Yeah, certain
Hot
stuff.
Cheeto, hot fries, right? Or Takis fries,
Yeah,
or
see, yeah,
anything red dye,
the
that's red
hot
dye.
Cheetos, all of that. Yeah, that's another one. Hot Cheetos, hot fries. Yeah, yeah, all
Then
that
that
stuff
stuff
got.
carry on for your kids to come out with oh yeah, all type of issues just off of that alone.
Yeah, yeah, cause they ain't nothing but junk food. I remember growing up, we used to eat hot Cheetos. I remember one time I ate so many bag of hot Cheetos to where when I went
Yeah,
to the
season,
restroom,
right?
no, this is when I was young, when I was little.
Yeah.
We used to eat hot Cheetos so
Right.
much. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
used to eat hot Cheetos so much to the point that when I went to the restroom, when I had went to the restroom, right, my poop was red.
God damn.
Yeah, and then my behind was burning.
Ah,
That's how serious it is. Like you got yeah. So yeah, them hot Cheetos was messing me up. So yeah, as I got older, I had to stop eating them.
mm, mm, mm,
Yeah,
mm.
back then, as kids, we used to, you used to go to the candy lady and buy candy and buy chips and things like that. Growing up, candy lady.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
let
yeah,
me
that's
hold
another thing. We
on.
so you yeah, we were so used to going to the candy lady to go get candy. You know what I'm saying? We weren't thinking about eating things that was gonna cause cavities. You know what I'm saying? We weren't thinking
Hold
about
on,
nothing really.
real quick. Hold on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Shek Meg, Kasaka, Kawi Mayama. Shout out Vino. Shout out Jay. Shout out
Hey,
everybody in the
Silky, give me a
chat.
moment, okay? I'll be back. Give me a moment.
Go
Give me a few
ahead.
moments, bro.
Yeah, you good. A1, you want to do a commercial?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's do the little commercial.
Yeah,
Um,
hit on with a couple commercials.
okay. Hold on. Yeah, let's do the commercial. Let's do the commercial. Okay, let's do the commercial.
Everybody hit the like. Shout out to the.
Amazing news! At Titans Debate League is now looking for interns. We are expanding our team and seeking driven individuals who are ready to make an impact. We're on the hunt for talented people to join our marketing team, a charismatic new host, and creative minds who can produce amazing content. If you have a positive attitude and are used to winning, because that's what we do here, then we want to hear from you. Join us and contribute to a culture of excellence and success here at Titans Debate League. Email us today, titansdebateleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Where Infinity Gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword to slice you, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical, precise pen. Hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goons gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box you in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box you in. Don't matter, paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the tigers. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. It's the clash of the titans.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, so basically, the whole thing that we have to do, and I know a lot of us don't like to go to doctor's appointment. We don't like to go to the doctors.
Ah,
We can't stand the
speaking
doctor.
on it.
Yeah.
Ah,
So the term for that is called atrophobia. Atrophobia means the fear of going to doctors. However, we have to break out of that shell and we have to start making our appointments. We have to, at least go every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And you have to start taking a physical too every year. Get a physical examination. That's very important because you want to
oh yeah.
always keep track of what's going on inside of you. Get a physical, get a full physical if you can. But yeah, it's very important to go to your doctor's appointment, to make a doctor's appointment. It is very important. So just because you think that you're healthy, you may not be 100% like you think. Yeah, you can eat right. Yeah, you can go to the gym all you want to. Yeah, you can do all your yoga or whatnot, but you still want to make sure you go to your doctor's appointment and stay on top of it to know where you stand on your health. You know, um, yeah. So get
Preach.
back. Yeah. So get back to what I was saying about candy and stuff. Yeah, as kids, we didn't think about cavities. We didn't think about, blood sugar or anything like that. We were just too busy just enjoying eating, different type of flavor. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was chewing gums, whether it was popsicles, lollipops, um, whatever, cookies, the little grandma cookies, all different type of stuff. It don't matter what we ate. We weren't thinking about that because, the adults would give it to us and let us have it. Then we'll become hyper. You know what I'm saying? So, but, now as an adult, I look back at it and I appreciate that now that I learn how to manage myself a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that I take care of myself and stay on top of my health because, the older you get, the more that you're going through changes with your body and you got to monitor that. So again, going back to what I stated before, it's important that we have to make sure that we make doctor's appointment. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
yeah. So yeah, don't let these individuals who call themselves holistic healers, because everybody ain't no holistic healer. So don't let those individuals tell you that you don't need no doctors. You don't need to go to the clinic and get checked out or anything like that. Don't let individuals mislead you because you do. It's important. It's very important. Stay on top of your health. Your health is your wealth.
Ooh, she is
So,
cooking right now. Cooking with
mhm.
Crisco. Bringing y'all fire. Dropping bars. Hitting y'all with everything. Just giving y'all so much good information that you need to know and be aware of in your mind and body. You need to make that one, and then you put an S on it, you got your soul. So, yes, you need to check all that out. Make sure you're in sync, in the rhythm.
Yeah,
Check
make sure your
yourself.
mental health is up to par. Make sure your physical health, emotional health, and
Mm,
spiritual health. You know,
mm.
yeah,
We're going to check yourself. You got to check yourself. Go get checked. Got to be on
that's
top of
right.
that. Check your vitals. Vitals are the most important. The vitals are vital. So you got to, that's one of the most important things. Stay on top of that. Vitals intact.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to deteriorate from the inside out or the outside
Right,
in.
exactly. Right,
So
exactly.
you need to be aware of all that.
Exactly.
Fire heat. Oh yeah. Anything else you got? You gonna hit us with anything else?
Oh no, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. So,
You feel good? You feel like you got a
yeah.
lot out, or you feel like you still want to touch on a few more things?
That's it. That's pretty much all I gotta say. I
Okay.
said enough. Yeah.
It was
I
definitely a
pretty much
pleasure having you come on. Letting us get a preview, get all that good information medical wise. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. That is needed. That is an avenue that needs to be handled. So thank you for that.
Oh, you most definitely welcome. You are most definitely welcome. Most definitely. And I thank you for being up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime, hit me up. I got you.
All right then. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Amazing news! At Titans Debate League is now looking for interns. We are expanding our team and seeking driven individuals who are ready to make an impact. We're on the hunt for talented people to join our marketing team, and charismatic new hosts, and creative minds who can produce amazing content. If you have a positive attitude and are used to winning, because that's what we do here, then we want to hear from you. Join us and contribute to a culture of excellence and success here at Titans Debate League. Email us today, titansdebateleague@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Where Infinity Gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess built and destroyed a cipher, intellectual sword to slice you. or whatever device you recommend. Surgical, precise pen. Hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goons gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box you in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box you in. Don't matter, paradigm, paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. In a dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword to slice you, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical, precise pen. Hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goons gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box you in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box you in. Don't matter, paradigm, paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we storming. It's the clash of the titans. It's the clash of the titans. It's the titans of the titans.